Funding provides support for indirect costs of research, Canada Research Chairs, and researchers addressing persistent systemic barriers in the research ecosystem and academia. The Government of Canada is committed more than ever to supporting Canadian research excellence and a diverse research ecosystem. The Honourable Sean Fraser, Minister of Justice and Attorney General of Canada, will hold a press conference on a new bill to make bail laws stricter and toughen sentencing laws entitled the Bail and Sentencing Reform Act. A media availability will follow the event. Prior to the press conference, Gov. Minister Ananda Sangari will be joined by his G7 counterparts and other guests as they discuss the complex challenges facing our nations regarding safety and security, and how the G7 can work together to prevent and counter threats to our citizens and ensure a safer, more prosperous future. Subjects: the latest edition of the Patented Medicine Prices Review Board Compass report shows that prescription drug expenditure for public drug plans grew by 7.4% in 2022-23 to reach $14.1 billion, compared to $13.2 billion in 2021-22. Drugs costing over $10,000 annually accounted for over one-third of TOT. The injured inmate was evaluated by staff members and transported to an outside hospital to receive treatment. The Agassiz detachment of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police and the institution are presently investigating the incident. No staff members or other inmates were injured during this incident. Last week, the Government of Canada announced a wave of new measures and initiatives to get more homes built, faster, and to strengthen the infrastructure that supports them. Starting the week, the Honourable Gregor Robertson, Minister of Housing and Infrastructure and Minister responsible for PASIF, joined by the World Bank Group, they met at a moment of significant change in the global economy to highlight the importance of partnerships with emerging markets and developing countries, founded on the principles of mutual interest and shared prosperity. Ministers identified opportunities for Cont. 30. I acknowledge the Auditor General of Canada's follow-up report on programs for First Nations and Inuit, and appreciate the opportunity to strengthen how we serve communities. The Auditor General's follow-up report is clear: there is real progress, and there is work we must accelerate. These are not. Following the tabling of the Auditor General of Canada's report on recruiting for Canada's military, the Minister of National Defence, the Honourable David McGuinty, issued the following statement: I welcome the findings and recommendations in the Auditor General's report on recruiting for Canada's M. Following the tabling in Parliament of the Auditor General of Canada's report on housing Canadian Armed Forces members, the Minister of National Defence, the Honourable David McGuinty, issued the following statement: We welcome the Auditor General's report and acknowledge its important findings. AVO. Indigenous Services Canada is working in partnership with First Nations to help establish educational facilities that will deliver quality and culturally appropriate programs and services for students. Today, Red Sucker Lake First Nation celebrated the grand opening of its new grade 7 to 12 school, AM. The following text is based on remarks delivered by the Honourable Melanie Joly, Minister of Industry and Minister responsible for Canada Economic Development for Quebec Regions, to business groups and chambers of commerce in October 2025. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you, leaders that UND. Joint statement by the Honourable Joel Lightbound, Minister of Government Transformation, Public Works and Procurement and Minister responsible for Shared Services Canada, and the Honourable Shafkat Ali, President of the Treasury Board. Today, following the tabling of the Auditor General of Canada's